How's it going, everyone, and welcome to another episode of No Excuses with your favorite show hosts, Ara Still.
Benurian.
And Volacel, and we're all three of us here together again to bring you the latest news and games commentary for the week that was, such as it is. Although Ara still just got done telling us he wasn't paying attention to it. But if you'd like to get involved with the show, you can do so by sending us email noexcusesvtw@gmail.com. You can follow us on the Twitter at noexcusesvtw. You can join us in the Discord server, which you can get to by the link provided in the archive version of the show on YouTube. Description underneath.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So this week, new Genshin area dropped. Nice beach resort area to run around in. Lots of Splatoon paint 'em up parts of the map.
Yep. So it's a fun little mini game island, basically.
Cute little Colosaur wave machines.
And new outfit for Bennett, which I actually quite like. I like his outfit.
Yeah, it took me a minute to process that it was a new outfit because I'd used Bennett so infrequently.
Yep.
I just kind of, he's Bennett.
He's just kind of there. He's always there.
He's a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. Kind of a dork.
He's like sort of the very platonic form of the hapless nice guy who's just doing his best.
Yeah. As you can see on the screen, I got Emily at the end. On the final day, I got Emily.
Yay.
Yeah, it was basically a day of running around. As soon as I had enough gems, hit that wheel. But so far, I haven't done anything with it because after that, it was like, okay, I've had enough of Genshin for today.
But now you have a lamp.
Now I have a lamp, which I drop on the field, and then I switch to Kniech and do the burning things, and the lamp will go pew pew pew.
There are a lot of people posting memes of Emily and what's her name? My brain has just completely disappeared. Lisa and Flynn's new character from Nod Cry hanging out because they're all lamp carriers.
So many lamps. So yeah. As for the events area, I've only done a little bit of the story so far. I did kind of get distracted by minigames.
I've just touched down. I didn't have time this week, so...
Honestly, without spoiling anything, I feel a little bit sorry for Satali. She copped so many strays.
I'm Satali.
I think it's Satali.
Satali catching strays is basically what she does throughout the entirety of the campaign.
Oh, right. Well, that's going to continue. The old lady, as they call her.
Well, she's been around longer than anybody else in Natland.
Yeah.
In fact, she's been there longer than the current Pyro Archon's entire span of existence. And the current Pyro Archon kept expecting her to grow up.
It never did. Dear. See, from the bits of that land I've played through so far, I'm really enjoying it. It's got a very different vibe from Fontaine at this point. Of course, I haven't hit the point in the main story yet where everything kind of hits the fan, which that lane is kind of famous for.
Yeah.
So I need to catch up and get into that, but there's so much to do in Genshin. It's like, okay, I could do the story, or I could level this up, or I could go grind that. Yeah. Or in this case, I can play with little blob creatures that specialize in baked goods.
Yeah.
Why did you do this, Hoyo?
I'm not sure I want to know.
Like when I first saw them hopping around, I thought, oh, okay, they just borrowed the mesh from the Bangboos and used them. But no, the Bangboos wish they could be that
Expressive.
dumpy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Especially when you do the fast travel like this. It's you're gonna get a full on bakery here.
And
Why, Hoyo? Why?
let us kidnap one in your world. I haven't seen one that's kidnappable.
I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be because it would allow us to modify his world. So
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I was wondering if it would at least let us hop around with them, even if. Oh nope. Okay, yep. I can kidnap one. Can
Yep.
I paint with it? I cannot. Okay, so I cannot paint with it, but I can kidnap one.
Oh, that's something at least. Whoops, hang on. I think I broke something. Start challenge. Oh, it's a match 3 game. Okay, I get it.
Got the wrong.
That's kind of weird.
Oh,
Green.
and
Whoop.
yeah.
So yeah, that's basically been my Genshin is get Emily, and that's about it. So yeah, other stuff I've done this week. It was Drunk Cowboy Palooza this week, so yeah, that's the big one. Got one big one left to go. Yeah, every year I'm reminded that common sense is dead. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, another challenge. Oh, okay. Random dudes. Yeah. Right, the random dudes. There we go. So, okay. Other little bits and pieces I did on the side. I played around with VR a bit more and actually got Satisfactory working in VR, which was made for a very fun experience.
why?
Why not? So, yeah, because it's on Unreal 5, basically VR is built into it. So, more than anything else, you just need an injector to tell the game, yes, you want to run it in VR mode, and then a mod to map all your controls. And that's it. That's all it takes to get that going. So you get to revel in just how pretty that world is before you burn it down, pave it over, and turn it into an industrial hellscape.
I see.
I do love Satisfactory. It tickles the tism.
I'm not. I've not played it before. I don't think. I might have.
If you've played Factorio, it's the same genre without the tower defensey bits. So yeah, it's a good time if you're into the automation type games. What else did I do? A little bit of RimWorld, nothing to report there. I've got Titan Quest 2 there, ready to go. I haven't played it yet because it only the early access only dropped yesterday. From the little bits I've seen of it, though, it's like Titan Quest 1, except with all these other good ideas from other ARPGs just kind of duct taped in there.
It's not necessarily a good thing.
No, it's not. So far, though, it seems like it works, but without actually having played it yet, it's kind of hard to tell. The only other game I played this week is Grounded because Grounded 2 also entered early access. And I haven't beat the first one yet, so I need to go and do that. So yeah, this is what happens when Obsidian is actually allowed to make something fun. They make a really good game. You know, instead of chasing trends.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't, I do recommend Grounded. It is a great example of the survival type genre.
I think I have it, but I have
I
not
think you
played it.
do.
I think you might have got it for me, actually.
I think we actually both nabbed it through Game Pass.
I do not have it through Game Pass. So
Okay. It is free on Game Pass though, so if you ever want to do it that way, that's the way to do it. Granted 2 is also there, but because it's only just early access, I'm content to just let that sit for a bit. Yeah, if they go by follow the pattern from the first one, it's going to be like only maybe half the map, if that. That's already there and ready to go.
Mhm.
So yeah. Oh, hang on. How do I get up there? Oh, there we go. Just jiggle my way up the cliff.
That's a blobby thing, and booty shake your way up here.
So much booty. So really, that's been my week. It's been drunk cowboys and giant insects. So basically my usual life. Yeah. One day I will be free of the drunk cowboys. So I'm going to leave it at that because I don't have a whole lot else to talk about. The only other things really is just been keeping an eye on YouTube and watching the various online dramas continuing, which is probably also why YouTube suggests to me nothing but various drama at the moment.
Well, drama's how you get them clicks.
It do be how you get clicks. Okay, well, how's this chest open? All right, so might as well throw it over. Vol, what do?
I'm trying to remember what I did this week. It was just such a blur of work and not enough sleep.
Yeah, it do be like that.
Because didn't help that the government decided that New Zealand needed to be under a tsunami warning.
All
Because of
right.
an earthquake in Russia.
Yes.
Yes.
Like it, literally on the other side of the world.
Yeah, but it's the
And
same
yet-
motion. It says so on our map.
I mean,
It's only the largest ocean on the face of a planet, which is like 2/3 ocean.
yes.
So of course they need to warn me about this at 6:30 a.m. just in case I feel the urge to go for a pre-dawn scuba dive in the middle of winter.
Near Russia.
Well, you see, they were
yeah.
warning about that there might be strong currents off the coast of New Zealand.
I
Okay.
see.
And they have this national warning override system that allows them to trigger people's phones to shriek.
Yep.
The thing is that it basically doesn't work properly. So I get heaps of these warnings for every stupid thing that they decide is an emergency. But lots of other people don't. I have two phones. I have my personal phone and I have my business phone. My business phone didn't get the warning. My personal phone did get the warning. So clearly there are some inconsistencies in their system.
Yes.
I talked to our driver at work and he's like, yeah, we've got 3 phones in the house and none of them got it. So
Right.
it's just a clown ass piece of junk that's used to wake me up early in the morning to ensure that I get the worst possible night's sleep. Yep, that's definitely what it's for.
Yeah, it sounds right.
So, I didn't really have a great deal of time for any video this week because I kept getting home so late and being basically too tired to do anything all that much during the course of the week. So I don't really have anything much to talk about in terms of stuff that I did. I didn't have time to do much on Genshin until like late last night, and I was basically so tired that I just sort of stared into space instead of doing anything. And in the case of ZZZ, I didn't do anything either. Like there's some kind of event going. I don't know anything about it or what it entails. I gather it's another multiplayer one, but that's all I know about it.
It's It's another Bangbo one. It's not the Fall Guys Bangbo though. It's the wacky alternate genre Bangbo. Like they had the tower defense one. Now they have the Bangbo fighting one.
Okay.
It's
Is it as stupid as it sounds?
it's not that bad, but the problem is it just takes too long to do everything in it.
Well, I saw that the timer on it was longer than a week, and I'm like, I'm too tired to do this right now. I'll put it on the back burner. So hopefully I'll get to it. And Star Rail is still in a content drought. The only thing that I really did is I watched the live stream for the next patch for Star Rail last night, but honestly, it was kind of grim. Like, it doesn't. So much is invested in their story that it's sort of hard to tell, what enjoyment you'll get out of it, since they can't really tell you that much about the story on the live stream because everything would be spoilers, and they already say too much. So, it's sort of hard to say one way or the other, or if it's going to be a good patch or not, since that's basically going to be pegged to the story. But the rest of it was kind of grim generally, in the sense that you get the distinct feeling that they don't have a solution to the content problem. They're just sort of hoping that the timings will work out better in the future, type of thing. It seems like there's a lot of inefficiency there, and there were some things that made me really worry about the future of the game. Mainly the fact that the preview content that they showed in the live stream previews was of a noticeably earlier looking build than usual, as though they're having trouble keeping schedule. Like, you can tell certain things about where in development something is based on the sort of the layering of assets, textures, and doodads on a given scene, and this one was clearly further back in development than historically they have shown off, and the live stream was already delayed compared to normal in terms of the time scale, which is worrying. There are various reasons you might do that for marketing purposes, based on sort of like inside baseball stuff that I know about the leaked upcoming content and that type of thing. But the stronger, like the more Occam's razor explanation is that they are just behind for some reason. And I'm not really sure why that would be, unless they have had like a downstream disaster on like 3. Sometimes this happens, particularly for long-running gacha games on a really strict content cadence, is that you can have a disaster in, like, say, for example, 3.6 or 3.7 while you're still on 3.4, and resources will have to be diverted from 3.5 to 3.6 or 3.7 to ensure that the whole schedule can be brought onto track, rather than just focusing on the immediate patch, because usually they're going to be developing like probably 3 or 4 patches in parallel, and they'll be sort of concepting and alpha testing the ones further down the line. So if there was some kind of problem with one of the features that they're planning to implement later down the line, it can delay earlier content. So because there's so many things in development at one time, it's really unreliable to try and make predictions about the reason behind any given delay. So you should always take with a pinch of salt anybody who claims to know, because unless they actually work there and you've got the inside line, you're not going to be getting reliable information. But yeah, in this case, they talked quite a bit about the story in general terms, but it was mainly fluff because they are very clearly at a position where they can't say anything, because if they did, it would give the game away. So it was basically burbling. And so, as such, as a live stream, it wasn't very rewarding to watch because they literally couldn't say anything of interest. The character previews look more or less how I expected from the way CBT5 closed out, where Sirajah looks now to be solid but underwhelming, and clearly the script for this was written around CBT3, CBT4, because it didn't have any of the CBT5 stuff mentioned, because Sirajah was overhauled between CBT4 and CBT5. On account of her being 4-star level of power in CBT4. So they are clearly tripping over their own feet as far as content cadences and media is concerned, which is sort of why I'm bothered by all of this. Like, there are distinct indicators that something's not quite right, but there's no knowing what that might be. But yeah, so the characters look like they're more or less finished. There are some things about them that look like they could do with like another, 20% more polish on some of the animations. There's a few things that look a little bit jank in there and so on. But overall, it looks more or less on par with what we expect, especially for non-push characters, because neither Hazelins nor Sirajah are push tier characters. There's going to be no ultra heavy marketing for either of them. I think probably because they blew out their own budget on Finon, and so did all their players blow out their budget, judging by the recent Sensor Tower figures, which were pretty extreme, to be totally honest. What with the July takings for Star Rail being 91 million.
Okay, what's their average?
Well, June's were 19 million.
Ah. Yeah, that's a bit of a difference.
So, yeah.
Went up 11 spots. I didn't notice that when you posted the picture.
Yeah. That's basically the difference between a push character and a non-push character. The market budget allocation pretty much just goes to push characters, which for 3.x were Finon and Castorus. They might do another lesser push later for Sireni. Though they don't really need to, because Alesia's so popular. But yeah, it remains to be seen what they will do with that. But the push characters that were sort of like before 3.0 deployed, the characters that were leaked as being the push characters were going to be Castorus and Finon, and that has proven to be true in both cases. We'll have to wait and see if they've got another one under their belt. But yeah, their takings have reflected that, but I think that it seems to have cost them in some regards. But yeah, there was no indication that they're going to solve the perennial content drought that tends to creep into Star Rail due to the sort of, how do I say, lack of playability of the core game, and that there's not really much to do, which can be described as just kind of playing around. The main event is going to be a restaurant management sim this time, essentially. I can't say I've played any of these in the past. Huh?
Again, it feels like we've done one in all the games now.
Yeah, maybe. This one seems like it's more in depth. It's more in depth than Cheesetopia, although it would be more accurate to say it's different to Cheesetopia, and it's different to the very mild take on it that came in Genshin. But this one is more sort of what's it like? It's not like it's not quite. How do I describe in terms of analogies? It's not quite plate up. There's less, actual cooking, but in place of that, you still do the managing of customers' expectations and so on, but you also have to grow the crops associated with your restaurant. Uh, so yeah. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out in practice. But that's the major event for the patch. The secondary event is basically a sequel to the bartending event or the mixology event. Except it's
Okay.
going to be, various characters from the main cast visiting the bar instead of random monsters this time. But those are the two main ones, and then there's just the sort of the usual other stuff like drop events and mission events and that sort of thing that come through. Nothing of note. I feel like that's not enough content, generally speaking. If they had a faster rotation on the end game, maybe that wouldn't matter. Or if they had what they really need is a way to more perennialize something else. Like, I don't know. It's sort of hard to say when there's not really the same depth of room for player expression as there is in other genres, and I think that that's a soluble problem, but they have to focus on attempting to solve it before it could be solved, basically, and they haven't really tried, as far as I can see. But I keep leaving them feedback about that, and like, you guys need to respect the fact that just like every other turn-based RPG type gacha in history, you're on borrowed time, and the amount of time you've got depends on how fast you can innovate on the core concept. Because if you don't, you're going to be up shit's creek. And this is always the way. You can look at the sort of the trail of corpses of other gacha games to see that in effect, and it won't matter. It won't matter as much how many people get drawn into your narrative if the core gameplay doesn't keep people around, because then you'll end up with the structure of people will come back every 6 months, play the story, and then stop playing again.
Yeah, I've been rapidly approaching that point with Star Rail, just because when I log on, it's just to do dailies that has quickly become a chore, and not to actually play the video game.
I still play it heaps. Like, I've got nearly 1,000 achievements in that game, and I still spend heaps of time wandering around and poking in corners, and I keep finding like undocumented chests and stuff that I've already maxed out the map, but there are still treasures in there that for whatever reason are not documented. So there's still stuff to find, but it's not really possible to do in any reliable way because you don't know if there's anything to look for. But yeah, I still play around in it a lot because I have, I think every single piece of written material is in my bookshelf archive now. Every single piece of music available in the game, I think, is in my jukebox now. Like, I've collected heaps and heaps of stuff, and I've read a lot of it. I am suddenly in a cutscene.
Because I sat on a swing, yes.
I saw it on the swing and it didn't do anything, but it had an arrow next to both of them.
Yep. And
It
I sat
probably
on a
triggers
swing
when there's
and
two
that
people
opens the
sitting on it.
chest.
Maybe it triggers when there's two people.
Maybe.
But yeah, so there is actually stuff to do, but honestly, it doesn't run deep enough, and it's not signposted that there's stuff to do. So most people are just going to conclude that there isn't anything. I like the game, or more, I like the setting and I like the story. Like the story, it just happens to take place at my preferred tier of story. So mentally, I classify the three main Hoyo games as three different types of story, where ZZZ is sort of the story about a few people in one particular city at one particular time, and what they go through in their day-to-day lives. So it's almost like a slice of life adventure. In the case of Genshin, it's more sort of the Odyssey. You've got one hero who travels through the lands trying to get to a particular goal at all times. By contrast, Star Rail is a Titanomachy story, it takes place on a mythic scale, and it's about the war in the heavens, essentially, because everything ultimately is directed at there's this guy called Nanook, and he's a problem. But you can't deal with this problem directly because you're just immortal. But what you do beneath that level, that scale of things, is that you move around attempting to set the world in such a way that when the dust settles, you'll still be standing. And that's basically what everybody is up to in Star Rail. Like, if you look at what Kokoli is trying to do, it's on a world level scale. It's basically on the largest scale she can imagine. If you look at the conflict on the Shin Show, that's entirely a conflict between Aeons at every sort of plot arc that takes place there. If you look at what's going on Penacony, again, this is a conflict of philosophies on the celestial scale that's being played out directly. And in each of these cases, it's about, rallying the gods onto whatever side is going to result in you still being standing afterwards. So it's a story that is arranged in a totally different way to Genshin, which is arranged in a totally different way to ZZZ. And I just happen to like the Titanomachy type of story. And so I'm very readily immersed in that setting. The problem is that the game keeps betraying itself at every opportunity. They have lots of core ideas I like, and lots of failure to really sell it. They never quite stick the landing. They always get very, 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 very close, and then drop the ball somewhere. But and so, like, ZZZ comes out victorious nearly every time, simply because they never set their sights very high. They take something simple and they execute it to the highest degree of precision they possibly can, and therefore, come out ahead. In the case of Star Rail, they shoot for the stars and they land in the black hole in the next galaxy. So, yeah, it's not being executed very well at present, and all of these are soluble problems. Some of them are easily soluble, some of them are very hard to solve, but they are soluble. But they just need to get to the point where they recognize that they're problems. In the latest survey, they asked several very pointed questions about whether the lack of animated character expression and storytelling was a factor that impeded your enjoyment of the storytelling.
Okay. I mean,
which that smells to me like somebody in the marketing feedback department has been getting this feedback, but they now need a metric that they can take to their bosses to say, look, you need to allocate budget for this.
Yeah. So
because
basically
feedback
just trying to
is
build
feedback.
case for it.
But yeah, once you've got, like, because I live in this world, right? I live in this corporate world. You need KPIs for everything. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. That's the logic of the corporate world. So in order for you to fix a problem, you need to have a metric that allows you to generate a business case saying, X% of respondents say this is a major problem. Therefore, we can correlate that with Y amount of additional revenues if we can solve the problem to their satisfaction. And this is just the way the corporate world works. You don't have to like it, but it is the way that it works.
Yes, good sense and logic kind of go out the window.
So yeah, the fact the older way of designing things, and the way that some things, like you see some examples here and there, like Expedition 33, where somebody who is in touch with what it means to both to make and to play a video game designs from the gut, based on a combination of the feel for the feel for the game and the sort of the ant smell of your people type of thing, plus tradition. Designing like that, usually that is the success of that depends on the visionary and the project management that person has brought to the table. There's not this sort of like metrics driven corporate backing to it. So it usually turns into either a roaring success or an apocalyptic failure with very little middle ground. You don't usually get very many mid things. Most mid things come out of design by committee.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna come up with some ideas that have tested well, and then focus test those into a grey paste, and then release the grey paste. And it's like, well, yeah, it's nutritious, but
It's
tastes like grey
it,
paste.
yeah, it's perfectly functional and hits all the criteria, but it's also completely bland.
Yeah, it doesn't have any life to it. Doesn't have any spark to it. Doesn't capture the imagination or inspire people.
Yeah. Every now and
I mean,
again, it might show a flicker of hope and personality, but that usually gets weeded out.
yeah.
I'd say we
But,
could
yeah, so
list games, but honestly, we'd be here all day if we did that.
But yeah, so the Star Rail is clearly caught in this design by committee trap where they need to have some kind of metrics to drive a change, because that's the reason usually you get a feedback survey which has an ultra specific question that you know that everybody in the community is concerned about, but they have to come out and ask it. It's not sufficient to just know that everybody's concerned about it. You have to turn it into a number first, because the higher ups, they respond to numbers. It's not a good thing. Not a good thing for anybody. There's usually a couple of people within the structure of a company that have a free hand to just do things, but oftentimes they're not really in touch enough with the actual problems to do anything about it. But if you look at Hoyoverse properties, they have a really big IP management team, much like Final Fantasy does, which is just about making sure that nothing taints their intellectual properties and that sort of thing. So even the writers can't just write the things they want. Like there was when Yoshi P decided that they needed to add a new tier of black mage spells to the game, there was a huge kerfuffle required to get high fire to be a thing.
Instead of coming up with a new suffix.
Well, the thing is that you're not allowed to. You've got your Fire 1, your Fire 2, and your Fire 3. Those are officially sanctioned by the IP management team for Final Fantasy, much like, Fire, Fear, and Firaga were as well. But
Yep.
there was no, like, when you start off using the Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3 rubric, you have to stay in line with that particular naming convention according to the laws of the IP. But there's nothing above Fire 3. And Yoshi P wants something. So he's now got to go hat in hand to the IP management people and make his case, because they are terrified that if you make a change and you get stuck with it, you've got to try and live by that from now on. So you end up with a committee deciding what you can name your next tier of spell.
Yes. Even if it could be something simple like just Fire 4. I'm glad they went High Fire, actually, because that's got a bit more personality to it. But
I think it is Fire 4, but I'm not quite sure. I can't remember. I don't really play Black Mage, but or anything these days, since I've kind of rejected the game. Yeah. So basically, there's this trap that they've fallen into, which is sort of like the trap that the ZZZ has fallen into is they've set expectations so high that they will probably die attempting to uphold them. The trap that Genshin is trapped in is that they're ridiculously complacent because they've been successful for so long, and the trap that Star Rails has fallen into is that they painted themselves into a corner with the genre's constraints and are too scared to move beyond it. But yeah, so there's definitely issues with them. But I didn't see anything that encouraged me in this particular preview. This particular preview made it like the vibe that you got after having watched the stream was that the only thing in the next patch of note really is the story. You don't really want, there's nothing else to be excited for, and you really don't really want to be in that position, because it makes it feel like the game qua game is not moving forward. Just the narrative is. And while I'm there for the narrative, that by itself is not going to be enough momentum to propel the whole game. So this week they also announced, not in this live stream, but in the Developers Radio blog posts, they announced that in 3.6, which is the patch after the upcoming one that will be being deployed, whatever it is, a bit over a week from now, one more week of 3.5, 3.4, and then, the 2 days or whatever that they always have where they deploy in the middle of the week. Well, it's the middle of the week for me. It's probably early in the week for Ari, where they deploy the new patch. And then that patch will run for its, what is it? It's like 6 weeks or something.
Yep, 6 weeks for an entire patch. Banners flip at the halfway point.
They'll let that one run for its 6 weeks, and then we'll be in 3.6. And in 3.6, they announced that they are going to deploy another endgame mode. And it's like, well, the problem is that the announcement was very, very, very received very, very lukewarmly. The content creators bifurcated on this. The ones that have stopped playing Star Rail condemned it, and the ones that are still playing Star Rail praised it. So I don't think either of them are thinking very clearly, but it's not really, like, they haven't announced many details about it, but the structure that they did announce was that you unlock the mode by having max starred all 3 other in-game modes on at least one occasion. Whether or not that will be historical, I don't know. They didn't say. And that will unlock this mode. And this mode is a game mode that requires 3 teams, and you lock each team as you use it to pass the 3 qualifiers, and then it has sort of like the ultimate challenge at the end. Problem is, nobody has any reason to believe that the ultimate challenging boss in this game mode is going to be anything other than like Hule with twice as many hit points, only you have to zero cycle him. Like, that's what is basically being expected, because they've not presented anything different. And realistically, that content is not for anybody except for the people who are already obsessively zero cycling things. And they're always going to complain that everything is easy. Doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
The game mode is just going to be inaccessible to everybody else. Now, they also, I think, did they say it in the, I don't remember if they said it in the preview, but I think that they did, that the rewards for this will be mainly trophies, like cosmetics, bragging rights.
Right. Bragging rights,
Not-
yeah.
So, like,
Not jade.
like phone
But-
backgrounds and stuff.
Probably, yeah. That type of
Yeah.
thing. Avatars, that kind of thing. And that's fine. But there's also information that suggests that they're going to basically do the same thing that Stygian Abyss did, and have the best resources for cooking up the best relics will also be locked behind this mode, which is only accessible by people who already have perfect relics.
Ugh.
So I don't understand why they keep doing this, because it seems like so obviously illogical. Like,
Yeah,
if you
why to give
already
something
have
someone
to,
who doesn't need it.
yeah, they only give it to someone who doesn't need it. That's the thing. Like, there's no other way to get that stuff in Genshin. Like, there's one game mode where you get the things that allow you to cook up your secondaries to land where you want, and the only way that you can do it is by already having almost perfect relics or perfect relics. And even if you do, if you've got the wrong team comp, you are up creek without a paddle. And that's going to be happening again this time, I think, because basically you need electrocharged. There's no 2 ways about it.
Electro
you
charge
need
or
to,
nothing happening.
yeah, you need, and electrocharge. It's not regular electrocharge. It's not going to be good enough. It's going to need to be lunar charged, and
No, because of
that
course it is.
basically
You're going to
means-
have the latest waifus.
Did you
it
pull the
means
maid
an effort will
robot?
go home. No, I
Yes,
didn't
not
pull the maid
Igus.
Like that's
Yeah,
that's the only question when it comes to whether or not you can participate.
Do you
Yeah,
have
but
not
this is going to wear thin pretty quickly, I think. Like, the engagement with Stygian Abyss was really weak when Stygian Abyss came out, largely because most people just hit a wall immediately. Like, even if you like me are a person who has all of the components needed to build at least a semi-premium. I don't have Yellen, so I can't make a premium, but I at least have the parts to build a semi-premium freeze team. But it doesn't matter because my other teams aren't premium. So it doesn't matter how good my freeze team is. I still can't play the mode. And so the only people that can really complete it are the people who play the game in such an autistic fashion that they can clear everything with any character because all their characters have perfect relics. So they just use, the classic 1.0 supports or whatever and clear that way. Well, there are people that can do that. But for most people, you're just going to hit a wall and engagement's going to be really poor. And that's it. That's the way it's going to be. And it seems like the new game mode in Star Rail is likely to smack face first into that problem if it deploys in the way that they implied it was. However, they did announce this pointedly immediately before a feedback survey. So probably they did that to provoke people so that they can take the temperature of what people are afraid of, because the people that really care about it are going to mention it. I had too many other things to mention, so I only mentioned it in passing in my feedback. But yeah, I think that they are deliberately fishing for information on this. The problem is that for Star Rail, it seems like they are not as agile as the ZZZ team. They probably get more sleep at night though. But it seems like they are still always moving. That they have a massive lag time between when they get the feedback and when they can act on it. Because they have acted on most of the major pieces of feedback that have been given to them. The problem is not really that they are ignoring it so much as there's like a 2-patch gap between when they start to get that feedback in earnest and when they deploy anything related to it. But yeah, it's I think that it's going to be a slow patch. It's going to be, for most people, I think, do the story and then go on hiatus patch. Because I don't get the vibe like there's going to be much changes to the game beyond that. The setting for the story is going to have a new area, of course, so this time it's going to be Styxia in its heyday, before it turned into a war-torn mess, and long before it turned into, a city of the dead. So it'll be interesting to see how that all fits together. The trailer has heaps and heaps of teasers in it. Like, the trailer in and of itself is ridiculous spoilers. I strongly recommend, if you're a really spoiler-sensitive person, just don't watch it, because you'll probably enjoy the story more if you don't.
Yeah, I've already made that a policy with Hoyo games, where the trailers give away too much. Even after finishing the Genshin story, I thought about going and watching like the ones that show off, like y'all said there was one showing off like Rhine Daughter and Alice and all that. I was just like, nah. That
one might be okay, but I would still I'd still and ahh'd about it. I think that the one that shows off the shades is probably okay, since that's about background lore. It's not stuff that's going to happen in the game. So that one's probably okay, but like the patch trailers and that for Star Rail, like the only thing that prevents it from being actual Snape versus Dumbledore tier is that heaps of stuff depicted in those trailers is stuff that never actually happens in the game. Like, sometimes those scenes just don't exist. They're just there. They've been made up for promotional purposes. Like the opening sequence of a shonen anime. Like, these are not scenes that really exist. However, there are still spoilers embedded in them. They might not be spoilers to people who like read every particle of lore in the game like I do, but if you don't, then it is going to probably impede your judgment, your enjoyment. Things that would be twists will be completely untwisted. That sort of thing. But yeah, the streams themselves are like that as well. Heaps of stuff gets given away. For the most part, I think everything that has been given away in a stream is stuff that I've already figured out by spending a lot of time dicking about in the game and reading the background lore. But to a normal tier of person who doesn't have every single book in the game, it's going to just be spoilers.
Because
So, yeah.
I don't know where I fall on the normie tier anyway for a comparison. I don't have every book and don't read every book in the game. I only will read a book if the first few lines or the first paragraph interests me, and then I'll flick through it. And if it's especially long, I may even just skim it. If it's gonna,
I even read the recipe book for the ceremonial meals in the different months in the Amphorian calendar.
I think I remember seeing that exist, but I didn't. I did not read that one. So I will read the
Ruan May's
occasional.
recipe book is completely inscrutable, actually. She keeps like it's the sort of recipe book you'd expect to find on Penacony because she keeps adding emotions and stuff to her dishes.
I see.
Yes. Cooking
But she's a
fail.
scientist, so she must have a rationale for it because she's an unbelievably autistic scientist.
Yeah. The only time I will make a point to read something I wouldn't normally read is if the story draws very heavy attention to it, like with the this isn't a Star Rail example, but with like a bunch of the notes from the councils for the dragons in underneath Ochkanatlan and that volcano.
Not that I can remember any of the names.
No, but the story very heavily indicates if you want to have a clue what's going on here, you need to read this.
Well, it's not really a book; it's more sort of a glowing beacon.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I more and more I'm thinking that for most people, just to avoid the streams, talk to somebody who watches them, and you can get a digest of what's in them. Don't watch them yourself; you'll get spoiled. Same applies to the trailers. The trailers are often quite cool, although I felt like the new one was a little bit camp, and it was mainly just trying to build hype compared to anything else. But yeah, the marketing is just all over the shop as well. It feels very disorganized for this patch. Like a lot of the stuff that they included in the trailer is clearly like this is technically marketing for 3.6, not 3.5. Like 3.5 has clearly got a different scope to this. I don't know where you're going to actually put the I don't know any idea how the story's going to be broken up from this point on. Like up until the end of the like 3.3, basically everything made sense. Like everything was 3.0, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. Everything sort of proceeded in a way that was logical for a quest. And 3.4 basically was a fulcrum point where everything went out the window. And now it's like, well, I don't know what you're going to do with 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8. Like, how is that even going to be fit together? But, yeah, because we're only at the halfway point and everything has already, gone to hell in a handbasket. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty apprehensive about the future of the game generally, because either they are keeping everything very under their hat right now, or they really don't know what they're doing and they're bumbling around in the dark. Both of them, I think, are live possibilities, and the only thing we can really do is wait and see what they can pull out.
Yeah, and I also.
I mean, it could be hopeful, right? Like, let's say, for instance, that they did nail down, maybe not now, but maybe at some point in the future, maybe now if we're lucky. Let's say if they really nailed down lack of a good library of character animations is really holding back our storytelling. It's making it less enjoyable for people. We need to fix this, and we need to fix it now. Well, what do you do to respond to that as a company? You have to pull resources. You've got to divert resources from one thing and then put all of your animators on building new animations, testing new animations, doing new rigging, doing new art. It's going to have a cost associated with it. You can't just hire up more people and have them slot straight into your workflow. A lot of people envision it that way. Like, oh, well, you earned X many dollars over the last patch. You should be big enough to do this. No, you actually can't generate expertise with money. You can purchase expertise, but it will be expertise in wherever you purchased it from. It won't be expertise on your game. You have to build that over time. So there is a time lag required to solve any given problem. So the fact that they seem like they're proceeding slowly and quietly and kind of disorganized and a little bit off the normal cadence of time could be bad, because it could indicate internal problems that are causing disintegration in their organization and production schedule, or it could mean that they're actually responsive, but they're actively reallocating resources in a way that they can actually respond to things.
Yeah. Although ZZ provides the alternate solution, just don't let your developers sleep and they get double the experience per day.
I mean, this is why Foxconn has nets outside.
You know, even if they are run ragged, just from the type and the genuine quality of the content that they put out and how quick they've been to respond to feedback and prioritize it, I get the feeling they actually really just have decided this game is their baby.
I have I have no doubt whatsoever that they love the game dearly. What I have doubt in is their ability to survive to see the end of the current plot arc.
Yeah. Well,
Like, by contrast, Star Rail mainly seems to be an exercise in Xiaoji trolling people. It's like before Penacony, he's like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be like a vacation arc where the tension is ratcheted down." And when Emphorius was about to launch, he's like, "Yeah, this is going to be a sort of like a heartwarming story of heroism."
mm-hmm.
Like either he is emotionally disturbed or he's just been trolling the entire time.
Yeah, that sounds like reminds me of stuff that Kodaka would do back when whenever he had a new game coming out in his earlier days. He would just make crap up about the game, just tell you the exact opposite of what it actually was. But yeah. Well, you get your vacation for the first two parts of this one. I don't know where they're going after that. They go in some wackadoodle places, but so you can come to Genshin to get your vacation because there's a whole lot of crap from this resort island that you have to familiarize yourself with.
But yeah, I'm still very much looking forward to seeing where the narrative goes next and how it will develop going forward. They've said that 3.5 is the patch where Herta and Skrullum are going to get drawn more and more toward the center of the story. Like they're going to be more involved as opposed to basically being the Greek chorus. But yeah, we'll have to see how it all plays out because they keep lying, so it's sort of hard to say.
Well, their Robo Daddy is become a prime target. So maybe
Is Skrullum actually playable yet? No.
No.
Skrullum is not playable. They keep inviting his voice actor to do the preview streams. Like he's been on quite a few of them. And it's starting to frustrate Skrullum fans now because they're like, what's going on? Like you keep acting as though he's a major player, and you've got him seated there next to Sarija and the Herta, and he's the only non-playable. Why do you keep doing this? But
we want a playable robot gentleman. Thank you very much.
But yeah, I think he's one of the more interesting geniuses, and he's relatively unexplored. Like the geniuses are all very autistic, most of them anyway. Like Steven's probably the most autistic of them. He's the one that never wants to show his face. Ryan May is extremely autistic, and you see that in all your interactions with her. Herta's kind of autistic, but mainly she's just a narcissist.
Yeah.
Skrullum, on the other hand, he's a genius, yes, but he's also, unlike the others, he's a politician. So he has to be canny and personable as well. It's not sufficient for him to be intelligent.
He's certainly the most well-dressed genius.
He's an autist with a high charisma stat.
Yeah, he didn't use charisma as his dump stat. I'm pretty sure that Dr. Ratio would still opine that he did use wisdom as his dump stat, but that's a matter of opinion. They really need to use Dr. Ratio more as well, in my opinion. He looks like an Emphorius character.
He is a fan favorite. I heard there was a bug in one patch that put him. They must have used him as a dummy model or something, but they kept it in the final release for a bit, where he was just hanging out on top of a pillar in the baths. They patched it out, but he just was kind of hanging out there.
All right.
Maybe he was just put in there as a joke by one of the developers or something.
It's possible.
But yeah, so that'll be out in a week and 2 days, I guess, from now, something like that. So I'm looking forward to it with cautious reservations, but I don't really have high hopes for this patch. I think it's going to be more or less another more of the same one. For all I know, the restaurant management might be unbelievably addictive or something like that. You never know when they're going to strike gold. For some reason, the anniversary game thing, the one where you manage the stalls and you in the coins, the board game type one. That for some reason that got its hooks in me. I'm not really sure why.
It wasn't quite the same, but I got very similar feelings to our arpeggio fault. Like, I could sit here and click stuff forever.
Yeah, but you deeply resented it while you were doing it.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as bad as arpeggio fault because I was still able to pry myself away from it. Maybe it was my experience with arpeggio fault that allowed me to pry myself away from it. You, however, couldn't detach yourself from that management game. Yeah,
I just kind of liked it. It was glorified cookie clicker, but you know how those games are.
Yeah,
it's annoyingly addictive.
I played Cookie Clicker for the first time during Rantathon.
Yeah, that was a terrible idea.
But yeah, so they occasionally they will strike autistic gold, but we'll have to wait and see what they do with this next one. Anyway, I don't really have anything else for the week because I basically skipped playing video games this week. I'm still diligently managing the temple in ZZZ to no real end because I know that what you're supposed to do later on is devote your production to claiming the the Omni coins or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I'm quite autistic enough to sit there manufacturing a few items at a time and then refreshing, and then manufacturing a few items at a time and refreshing.
Yeah, no, I have accrued a gorillion T-million currency just from leaving stuff on auto sell and occasionally sending the bangbos out.
The gameplay loop there, I'm not really that interested in participating in at this point because I've bought out everything in the shop from the regular coins and including the monthly stuff a few times, but I don't really think that. Well, what I'm concerned about is that I'll at some point become so desperate for more Denny's that I'll re-engage with it.
Good.
Because you can get Denny's out of it. You can, technically speaking, get Denny's out of it.
Had to.
And I'm feeling that Denny's are going to be a limiting reagent for me before too long, on account of having just built Yuzuha, and Alice is coming down the line in 4 days or something.
I posted the timer earlier today. I checked the current timer. It's not in that browser. Star Rail banner countdown. 3 days, 13 hours, and 17 minutes.
I still haven't managed to land the discs that I want. I'm probably going to have to craft them.
I have been hitting. She probably wants the same disc as Jane, or can use the same disc as Jane. But
I think it's mostly the same as Jane.
Yeah, but
I think yeah.
I've been hitting those nodes nonstop to fix Jane.
So you're going to pull for her and then give her Jane's cast-offs? This seems like kind of a waste, really.
No, I'm.
Why pull for her if you're going to make her into a worse Jane?
What I'll probably do is set budgeted pulls, do a Chaska and do like 40 for her. If she comes, cool. If not, just let it sit. Because I don't really need her for any gameplay reason.
Well, you definitely don't need her for any gameplay reason. The numbers that have come out are suggesting that she's actually just worse than Jane when put in her best contexts.
Yeah, so I don't I don't have any.
That crit is serious business.
Yeah, the just slapping on your anomaly procs king crit is going to make Jane hard to beat, and my Jane's M1 with her signature, so she's definitely not going to beat Jane. But she is blonde,
What's Jane's
or
M2
Alice is.
like?
What is Jane's M2 like? It's not bad, but it's not as quite full of quality of life as her M1 that gives you an extra stack of Kuru. Let's see here.
Like I don't have an alternative to Alice except Piper, and I really don't want to build Piper, so I'm pretty much heart set on pulling for her.
Yeah. But yeah, I listed the pros and cons earlier. She's blonde. She has the silly mood belt. But she is a rabbit, and I already have best rat for physical anomaly. So,
Well, I adore rabbits. I always kept them when I was young.
they poop on my floor.
Multiple generations of them, in fact. Well, I kept them outside. They did poop on the floor when I brought them inside, but usually in a controlled fashion. But there was a particular place in the house that was very conveniently was a doormat, so you could just lift it up and then tip the poop in the garden, because rabbit poop is extremely dry. But so I viewed my rabbits as extremely clean, but I also resonate a little bit with Alice's tism
Oh,
after spending my morning. Not only did I pair all of my socks, but since all of my socks are black, I paired them all to make sure that each side had the exact same amount of wear and tear, because otherwise it would be uneven.
I see. Yeah, she is symmetrytism, the character. They've kind of made that her gimmick.
They were so cruel to her, giving her heterochromia like that.
I know. I like how during the summer event, her objection to her outfit is not how revealing it is; it's that it's asymmetrical.
Yeah, you have made her wear the patented Hoyo leg strap on one side.
And this disturbed her greatly. Her whole interaction with Lucy was hilarious during the summer event, where she just has a total mental breakdown about how Lucy wears her hair uneven.
The side tail.
Yeah. But Jane's M2 is stupidly good, but it's anytime you hit an enemy in the nod state, which means Jane's the one that triggered an anomaly on it in the last 20 seconds, you just straight up ignore 15% of their defense, and your crits when you crit with Assault now do 50% more damage.
That's unreasonably powerful. Yeah, so realistically, if you were in a mood to invest in physical anomaly, you would probably be better off just pushing Jane even further, making her even more god tier.
I do love
rather
playing
than
there.
Just flinging a few polychromes. But then your luck is always held out every time you weren't that fast, so
Yeah, the less all in I am for a character, the sooner they come. So we'll see what happens.
Filter and accent.
Yeah, like
there's no such pattern for me. Like I was all in for Fufu, and I got Fufu on the first 10 pull.
if Fufu was not nice to me, that's the other reason for only doing budgeted pulls. I just don't have any stray probably. Well, I've got some now. I've had time to start rebuilding it, but Fufu really cleaned out anything I might have had because she was not nice to me. But it's been 6 weeks since Fufu, so and Yuzuha wasn't nearly as bad.
I need to build a perfect set of Fufu discs so that I can main Fufu when it becomes a multiplayer game.
I'll take the crit damage. I need to fix Eve's gear too, I think, but it's not nearly as dire as Jane's was. That's the other thing I like about ZZZ when I'm playing it is I can make up for drive disc just not working out, and I just don't even really care unless I've decided to push a character what the drive discs are on the substats.
It's also just flatly easier to gear in ZZZ. Like by the margin that would the same sort of margin if the difference in margin was applied to Star Rail and to Genshin, it would make both of those games feel a lot better to play, gearing wise, because ZZZ only has 3 variable primaries and has fewer secondaries. So it's just generally easier to get discs that you like. And when you layer on top of that the amount of influence that player skill can have on your play, it's just a game where gearing does not feel like the only thing that matters.
Yeah. You just meet certain thresholds to either build up a certain amount of monopoly with each cycle of attacks or skill use or dodge counters, or you get just enough so that you're able to pop baby enemies with one rotation. But there aren't too many of those. And it ain't hard to get over those lines. It's just whatever you're comfortable with for the character, and then the rest is all just it just does more damage, more gravy. I can make up for the rest. Just dodge better.
But no amount of practice is going to make Navi a crit.
No, there is no way to make Navi a crit. And well, there was a way to make Navi a crit. It was called the wallet. The only way I was able to make her crit. And I still don't have an hourglass for her. Both Genshin and Star Rail have been incredibly mean to me with gearing, but ZZZ, not so much. Like, ZZZ, just because I don't have to pay attention to it, and I've only really started pushing one character's gear now. Like, I got D's and E's all over the place.
It's also very, 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 very easy to pre-farm the majority of things.
Yeah.
In ZZZ. So by the time the character that you're anticipating comes out, you don't need to worry about which skill book does it use, which world map does it use. Like, none of those things are questions. You already have that stuff in the bank, because the time that the character is drip marketed, you know what you need to start saving immediately. And so when the character comes out, or the right drive disk node comes out, you can devote all of your attention to focusing on that.
Yeah, and then because you can get the character online so fast, you can, while the character is still in hype mode for you and the rest of the community, you can get out there and actually figure out how to play it and have fun doing that instead of waiting to get it built up. Even if it's suboptimal and you got to kill the weekly boss a few times before you can get it there, it's still playable. You can still start using it right away. The current ongoing background project, now that I've got all the characters to level 60, is to level up everybody's core skill to max. Just in case.
That's expensive. That's expensive.
So whenever I'm not farming drive discs, I'm hitting the weekly bosses.
I did max out Piper's core skill. Just in case I had to use it.
Also a lot of Denny's.
It's always down to the Denny's. Anyway, I don't have anything else to talk about.
Alright. I guess we'll jump straight into my week, because it's tangents more with Hoyo. ZZZ, it's the halfway mark patch. So not a whole lot going on there, I don't think. And the summer event was massive, so I'll be fine if they catch their breath. They don't have to overload us on this one, on this upcoming bit. Like I mentioned before with Symmetry Autism waifu, I'll throw some token pulls at her and see what happens. And I'm not too keen to grab her because I already have a rat that does what she does, but is M1. So yeah, there's that. Star Rail, the game is been stuck in farming mode since the completion of the last story, and it's gonna be there for a while. Like, the new story will come out.
Your higher speed.
Yeah, I've been trying. It's not working. Like, I just cannot get that set to cooperate, and I can't get the other set to cooperate either to get Tribusum gear, because it keeps giving me promising pieces that have speed on them. And unlike ZZZ, and to a lesser extent Genshin, you absolutely can't make characters work without the gear in Star Rail, because it's a turn-based game.
Yeah, you live and die by your stats.
Yeah, and that game has been just particularly mean to me with the generic gearing sets mostly. Not as bad with the planar ornaments, but they're still not particularly nice to me, and I usually have to craft the obligatory element up piece from those. But man,
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
usually have to craft both. Yeah, I don't think energy regen ropes exist. I think that they are just some kind of joke or legend.
Yeah, well, sometimes you can get away with they just need an attack rope or an HP rope, and only about 3/4 of the time does it decide to stuff you on those. Once in a blue moon, you have one of those laying around that's at least the right primary stat.
I feel
Oh,
like it's still like December of 23 when I started playing Star Rail because I'm still farming gear for Kafka and Black Swan because I'm pretty sure no good gear comes out of that node.
yeah, I never could get anything good out of that node.
I've actually got really good pieces for the other set, the Annihilation set
Oh, the
that's
follow-up set?
paired with it. Yeah, I've got really excellent pieces for that. Is why the stats on my Himiko are so absolutely cracked because she was the only vessel for me to put them on.
Yeah, I use that on most of my follow-up characters because I farmed that node so much trying to get my Kafka some gear, and because I didn't have very many uh, 5 stars when I was starting out. Um, at least not offensive ones anyway. But yeah, dang it, I miss those crabs. Reset your sonic speed is too fast. Uh, but yeah, that game's just not being nice to me with trying to fix up some gear on characters that desperately need it. Genshin also not being very nice to me with gear on characters that desperately need it. And I have in fact given up this week and just did ley lines. There will never
I did
be
ley
a,
lines as well.
there will never be enough
I
Mora.
just got really frustrated, and I did ley lines. I did more ley lines this week.
Yeah, I did a few extra weekly bosses too, just to try and fish up some more Dream Solvent, and got a couple. But mostly it was ley lines, because I was just sick of hitting the gear farming domains and not getting anything. But yeah, in ZZZ, I don't have to think about my gear very much. As long as the primary stats on there, yeah, it can roll just the worst substats. I can make it work. And I'll fix it later when I decide to push that team. And it's taken till now for me to need to push a character. Well, not even need, just want to push a character. Because I used Jane so dang much and went out of my way to get her M1. But yeah, so that's been those games. The big gaming bit, I guess I'll explain why all this had to happen in the last, like, 36 hours. Um, so, work this week was a nightmare. Um, just customers causing problems nonstop. And I almost had to,
Completely pointless problems.
yeah, I almost had to make a special trip up to North Carolina to go tell a customer what I told them over the phone.
Yeah.
So,
Customer service do be like that.
if you've been to a construction site before, you know what a construction site looks like. You know the type of people that operate at a construction site. They don't give a crap about anything other than getting the project done and getting their particular role in it done so they can go home. If they are low paying immigrants, they may not even care about that. They usually don't. They are there just to do stuff until you hand them money. The place is usually very dirty, full of all kinds of crap, and people do dumb crap on construction sites all the time, not thinking either because they're exhausted or because they really are that stupid.
Or they just simply don't care.
That too. So, when I have a customer that calls me telling me that his pump is tripping overload, like, oh, well, if it's tripping overload and it's not an electrical problem, then it's got to be your impeller getting gummed up by something, and that thing can't spin freely. Like, the only thing that would explain it is there's something in the lines or inside the pump itself that fell in that hole and got in there. No, it's pumping clear water.
Mm.
And this is
Just because the
the
water's clear doesn't necessarily mean that there's not something in there.
yeah. Never mind that people will find all kinds of creative ways to flush stuff that down drains that are supposed to be for clear water that are not at all supposed to go that way, but we'll go that way anyway.
Like, if there's a convenient hole somewhere, especially on a construction site, someone will stick their lunch wrappers in there.
Yeah, like it just this particular incident happened on Thursday near the end of the week, but it just stuck with me as emblematic of everything I had to deal with this week because it was all crap like that of that tier. Not quite that stupid, but of that tier. Of me trying to calmly explain to somebody what the solution to their problem is and get them as much information as I can. And I did make money off a couple jobs this week, but it was oh boy, people were frustrating me hard. So I was busy answering emails well into after work time all week this week. So Monday through Thursday were a total wash. I wasn't able to do anything at all. Oh, and I did luck out in that my service tech that I send out his company is doing a startup for a separate job in North Carolina. Now they're also based in Georgia. And where we would need to go is 4.5 hours of driving and 4.5 hours back. So it's 9 hours on the road. Not counting any time at the job site, that's 12 hours. That's going to eat the entire day and put me behind all week if I have to go. But he happens to be going up there for on the day that I would need him to go meet somebody up there. So I called him, and I think I said something like, "Now, you may be happy because I'm about to give you a way to make a lot of money, or you're going to tell me to go to hell. But I've got this job that needs somebody to come look at it." And he's like, "You won't believe this. We just happened to be in that area that day." So I was like, "Oh, thank you, God. I knew paying my tithe on time was the right thing to do." So I told him he could take this idiot to the cleaners.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can charge him as though you were driving up here straight. Make him pay you like $5,000. I don't care.
Gotta pay the idiot tax.
And I don't know if this idiot expects all this crap to be free.
Probably.
But no, he's gonna have a multi-$1,000 bill show up for people to come up and diagnose the problem.
Why would he think it would be free?
Because
they always think it's free.
Yeah, because customers often think that you can just show up and solve their problems for free as though your time isn't billable and they're not pulling you away from other stuff you could be working on. It's just the customer brain.
Think you're a wizard.
Yeah. Like I can throw some papers at you and that'll magically fix it, or I can show up with my magic wand and wave it at the pump and magically all the tampons plastic casing that you flush down there is just gonna all evaporate.
At least it's not masks anymore.
Oh, I loved when it was masked. Because they broke so many pumps. I sold so many replacement pumps during Coof.
I don't know who would think that dropping a mask down there would be a good idea.
Well, if it's just one mask, it's not that big a deal. What the problem happens is if multiple people in quick succession flush masks down there, and they all wind up in the basin before the pumps kick on because it reaches a critical water level. Because you don't run the pumps nonstop. That would be silly. You're going to burn the pumps up. So if a lot of people were just flushing masks down there, basin was big enough it could accrue them, and bigger basins usually mean bigger pumps. Well, they're all going to make a journey through the impeller together.
Yay, and they'll make friends with the impeller.
Yes, and they have...
The impeller will not appreciate said friendship.
No, especially not if it's not a grinder, slicer, or vortex impeller that could chop them up. And even if it is one of those, those nice little masks had little strips of elastic on them most of the time. That if you
Mm-hmm.
got wound up all tightened in a nice little ball, it ain't gonna matter what material that impeller has is made of, or what shape it's in, or how sharp it is. It's going to get gummed up because it's not going to be able to cut through that.
What normally happens is that they wind around the axle of motion, and basically the impeller will get slower and slower due to the extra friction until it stops turning entirely, and then
Mm-hmm.
it will stop moving, and the nothing will get chopped up any longer.
Yep.
Ah, and now you have a lovely clog.
Oh, but that impeller is going to keep doing its best until it finally dies, and
Oh yeah, it's going to burn out completely.
and it's going to burn take the entire motor of the pump with it when it does.
Uh-huh.
Like, so mass season for me was a bunch of easy jobs where I just have to go, yeah, it's boned. You're gonna
Yeah,
have to
see
buy
this
a new one.
ball of face masks? There's your problem.
I got two options for you. Both of them are expensive. You can have me get a repair company, a motor cover assembly with a cable, and they can come replace the entire motor, and maybe it'll work. Or
Maybe.
you can just buy a new one.
Uh,
This was the era
yeah, that's
of
at least the good thing is stupid will always create work.
yeah. Well, stupid is always an opportunity for money most of the time.
Most of the time.
Well, yeah,
And also an
Just-
opportunity for a 12-hour round trip.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's whether or not that stupid creates more hassle than it generates more money.
oh, I was making that guy pay for at least the cost to go up there, and was debating before I called On-Site Mechanical to see if they would do it. How much I was going to upcharge him to make something off of this. So he wasn't getting off the hook even if I did it. But since an actual service tech is going out there, ooh boy, he's not going to be happy when he sees that price tag.
Yep.
That's 4,000, 5,000, maybe more for the length of the trip alone. If I tell
Depending on the option he takes.
yeah, if I tell Nick take him to the cleaners, he takes him to the cleaners. he's gonna charge them for every cent he can get away with. And I told him to
Gets
ream
far
this
too many
guy.
dollar signs in his eyes.
Yeah, I told him to ream this guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my week. Was all junk like that. Engineers pestering me constantly, wanting me to do their job for them. I've got another request just sitting there in my inbox that I decided was Monday me's problem on about 4:30 on Friday, and just left. Like, I cannot anymore.
For such a specialized industry, honestly, you run into some colossal idiots.
Yeah. Well, you get two types of people really that'll get into this. The people that are uh nepotismed into it, uh and don't care, and the people that are nepotismed into it and try to make the best of what they got because this is where they wound up.
Oh, give me the second type any day.
Yeah. So that's how you get like the difference between me and the opossum. And this also means everybody knows everybody. But this also means they feel like they can just approach you and have you do their job for them if they don't have a clue what they're doing.
Oh dear.
But I've got a lot of customers that like me at least, so that's hopeful. But
Yep.
continuing the actual video game stuff, um, I the only real gameplay anything I made any headway on this week was getting caught up in Genshin. I've been 3 patches behind, I think, when this patch came out, and over the course of 36 hours, I just played catch up. Did paralogisms, yeah, paralogism or whatever it's called. Um, back in Mondstadt, which they did have a good chunk of the voices added back for that one. And by a good chunk, I mean they like Venti and one other character was back. Everybody else was still mute. So not a good chunk at all, actually. That was a blatant lie. But I was getting so far behind that continuing to let it just keep going backwards was not really an option if I wanted to continue to dodge spoilers. So I did that, and that story was okay. Um, it's it was fairly well presented, but has a lot of background details about the world brought to the forefront, and the witches are of course back in that one, and they have cute little fluffy animal avatars in this one that they use, which I thought were
as opposed
adorable.
to just
Well,
nothing.
that's pretty much all Alice's handiwork.
Yeah, with the other one, didn't seem too pleased to be stuck in fluff.
Barbeloff.
Yeah, Barbeloff didn't seem too pleased to be stuck in as a fluffy animal for this visit.
That's Mona's master.
Is she also broke?
No,
Uh,
she is not broke.
yeah,
I get the feeling the Hex and Circle think that they're more or less above money, but
You get
I
that
don't know if
impression.
everybody else
Yeah.
agrees. But yeah, she doesn't she views Mona as a student, but not as her successor. So she's not planning to elevate Mona to the sort of level that she's at. But Mona has no interest in abiding by that verdict and intends to succeed and displace her master eventually.
so yeah, it was fun. My first round through the chess fight or the boss fight for it, I thought it was good until I saw a cryo bar and my party had no cryo in it on that first attempt. And if you don't fill that bar up, whatever character you have in the lead is dead. I was like, oh goodness, if this is a super strict cryo bar, I'm gonna be honking mad. But thankfully, no, it's a small enough cryo bar on Fight 2 that just you gotta bring a cryo character to punch it, and Sitlali can do it with her shield active with the swirly vortex.
It's pretty common. Most fights have something like that. It's just like the primordial dragon is just the same. You will die if you don't have light soul damage in your party. It will simply kill one of your characters.
Yeah. So I'm still not a
Which
fan.
I think is arguably worse since it's not element based, so you're required to have Natland characters, and if you don't, at some point in the future, you're completely buggered.
How you feeling that DPS
Everyone has
Kachina?
Kachina, I guess.
Are you feeling that DPS Kachina?
Yep. Turbo Twirly, go!
So yeah, that was the thing. Refights were fine. I like the boss on reflight fights, at least compared to most of the other bosses. Definitely better than the stupid F off dragon. Definitely better than the whale.
Stupid whale.
Well,
Definitely better than Opep. So it's not in that bottom tier of what were they thinking bosses.
but they've never done Raiden Shogun again.
No,
They've never even attempted to do a fight like that again.
the closest we get is Arlecchino.
I don't really feel like I'm fighting with Arlecchino though. I feel like I'm trying to kill Arlecchino before I make a mistake.
Yeah, it's but Raiden Shogun's the closest thing we have to a properly executed boss that has mechanics you can learn and get better at. I mean, I guess Jeff counts in that bucket if you stretch it, but Jeff has such a wacky gimmick and elemental restriction problem that he drops like 2 whole tiers. Jeff being Scaramouche or Wanderer.
Yes.
But yeah, so that was all good.
I don't miss having to do Senora either.
Yeah, Senor is
No.
just a slow fight where
Not very fun.
that it's just not very engaging or fun, and just a manage the meters boss fight. You don't even have to really manage
a fight. It's functionally a fight in a poison swamp.
Yeah. But yeah, she's not particularly engaging. But yeah,
Also, dead.
yeah.
Ironically dead.
Don't tell her simps that they're still in so deep in denial they see the crocodiles.
Wait
They're,
to see
they're,
Nodcry pop up with a replacement for her.
they're constantly talking about how this might be a hint that she's not actually dead, or this might be a hint that she's coming back, or whatever. Like they're just so the copium huffing going on in that community. My goodness.
Indeed. So yeah, but overall, I thought it was a very solid patch story. The lack of English voice acting definitely hurt my experience of it a lot. I think it would have helped elevate some of the bigger scenes tremendously. And there is a notable quirk with the muted voices that I did not notice because it hasn't really come up. In the English, if the character is muted, there are no subtitles provided. And so you will just see dramatic crap happening and a mouth moving and not have a clue what's going on. So if there's an option for that, turn it on. I haven't looked because it only happened once. But yeah, that was a pain in the butt. Had to go rewatch a couple cutscenes on YouTube. But yeah. Let's see. 5.7. This is where the new Paimon comes in full, and in both the main quest and the story quest. So this was the Skirk patch, I think. And no. The main quest was the Inefa quest that's out in Natland. She doesn't get a story quest. Her story quest is just the Archon quest.
I don't think it's formally considered an Archon quest, is it?
It might not be. It's like
I think that they've given it some other name.
Yeah. So, Vol,
I think it's actually named in the events. Hang on.
No, that's a good point. I can just look there. Song of the Welcome Moon Prelude.
There you go.
So yeah. Well, I guess Nodcry doesn't have an Archon, so.
Are you just going to skip the whole time travel one?
Oh, right, that one. Hang on. My brain is trying to reorganize itself. So, travel one. Is my brain just totally farting on this? Or you talking about
Helichills.
Oh, right, that one. Okay, yeah. I was brain farting on that. So that one was really, really well put together. I like that one a lot.
Apparently not well put together enough that you remembered it all.
It's I played them all back to back, and was thinking of them as just part of Skirk's quest for some reason. No, it's the Dainslift quest.
It's not even in it.
I know. So I thought that one was really well put together. I liked the reveal at the beginning that with the twist they did with the Hilichurl you initially encounter and then you start time traveling. I don't want to spoil the rest of it for Fern, but that one was overall very good. With the Traveler finally getting to speak with their sibling, who are voiced in the game, but not in the cutscene. So you got to go watch the cutscene on YouTube.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, they got the actors back, but apparently they only had time to get the lines for the gameplay, or they just forgot to record the cutscene.
Oh, they would have had to remaster it with the voice track in, I guess. Must have forgotten to do it or something.
Yeah,
or that guy wasn't in the office, or
yeah. So that was real good. I don't want to spoil that one because Fern will have to get to that, and he's in Natland now, and it's part of the tail end of Natland.
Yeah, got to get caught up on that.
And it has Sitlali being tsundere and jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
So yeah. There's that one. I'll wait till Fern gets to that one, or it comes up again to really go into it. I think I did really like the not twist, but the unraveling of oh the Hilichurl. None of it you couldn't see coming, but it was just presented really well. And throughout all these, you can see their cinematography continuing to get better and better.
Because for whatever reason, the writers really want you to feel guilty every time you annihilate a Hilichurl camp.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to just keep on hammering that one home, aren't they?
yeah. So yeah, that was that quest. Next was Ineffa's quest. This one, uh,
You really got to do the world quests first, in my opinion.
yeah, it's not gonna make any sense if you haven't done both Oshkanat Line and Underneath the Volcano. And you probably should read the Dragon Council books notes while you're doing it.
That whole, I've only seen a little bit of the Dragon Council stuff, but it looks a pretty interesting block of lore there, at least.
Yeah,
It's a better story than the main Netland story.
Oh, no.
well, I mean, you ever see on YouTube in a fail video of a gymnast do this incredibly amazing aerial routine, uh, and then fall flat on their face at the very end?
Oh, yep.
That's the Natland story.
Oh, no.
Like, it looks really good while it's in the air and in motion, and then it gets to the
But
end and just
fails the landing.
flops face first.
Oh, no.
But yeah,
Incredible. I'm more envisioning like a high dive with lots of acrobatics on the way down, but it ends with a belly flop,
yeah,
and everybody just winces.
Yep.
that's very much so how it goes. But the lead up to it's worth keeping yourself unspoiled on, because it is quite good until the very end. Uh,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that one. Uh, since Fern will be coming up on that one too, I won't go too deep into that one. But it does rely on you having done the world quests, and really solidifies my point in this game even harder that they've really got to do something about the presentation of dialogue during world quests as stuff is happening, because it's so easy to accidentally interrupt it or miss it.
Or murder the
It's
boss too quickly and have the dialogue get cut off entirely, and you never get to hear it.
Yeah, and have to go rewatch the boss fight on YouTube, because this boss fight was one of those where even trying to
Yep.
go slow and goof around with reactions is not enough time to let all the dialogue play.
yeesh.
Yeah, they've got to fix the gameplay integration of the story, but they've upped their cinematography at least, which was a big boon to them. It has made all the stories significantly better. But I think their next goal should be better integration of storytelling with the game. We don't need
Yep.
Zuyuan on the train. So so yeah, that was that one, and then all that's left after that is the summer event. I am caught up to it, and Vol hasn't done it yet, and Fern's still in the middle of it. Although it looks like he's further than I thought he would be, based on him doing the attractions. But yeah, the first two acts are familiarizing yourself with the island and getting to know what's going on and on vacation land. So I don't want to say there's nothing of substance there, but it's it takes a bit to get the main story going, because it spends its time going around this island and really selling you on everything that's going on here.
You spend an awful lot of time just
Brilliant.
sitting on a boat.
Well,
You know, in 60.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the summer event immensely so far. I like all the characters in it. I like that the presentation sets it up as just a vacation. But
Yeah.
and picks Mualani as one of the characters from that land to be a character, which is as one of the characters that you meet on the island when you show up. Her and Chaska, and I like their dynamic usually. And then
Yeah.
I didn't really know anything about Bennett until this quest, aside from tidbits and maybe what I'd gleaned from skims of his profile. But they've done pretty good with him so far, especially in Chapter 3. So lots to look forward to in this one to get to know a bunch of the characters and just explore Vacation Land. And there's a lot of fun stuff in Vacation Land. None of the mini games are as high quality as the stuff we got in ZZZ Summer Event so far, individually, but there are a lot more of them, and none of them are bad quality so far. Even the token combat event isn't really a combat event, because all you have to do is cause a certain elemental reaction to happen, and then press the button that makes you go into the actual minigame. And once you trigger the reaction enough times, you just keep pressing that button and play the minigame inside of the minigame.
Yeah, I found a few around the place which you can't actually trigger in co-op as well, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, this place loves its they're clearly experimenting with a lot of stuff here. And trying to see what sticks with people and what people like. I wonder if the feedback form will be very long for this island that just lists all the different mini games laying around.
I hope so. Let me just tell them over and over again, don't delete it.
Well, yeah, this one isn't going anywhere.
Does everybody get the same feedback form for these games, or do they have random questions that get picked?
Interesting question.
Usually, if you mention one specifically, if it's a survey that I did, I recognize the question being on there, but I don't know for sure.
Right. Because sometimes I feel like the questions are like skewed really heavily in favor of like one event that happened during the course of an entire patch or something.
Yeah. I've gotten ones that are just questions about the event before, or a couple of events that happened throughout the course of the event.
Oh, I found an event that's bugged. That's interesting.
Because when I did the Star Rail one, I was like, did they realize that they had a main story at all? Because they didn't ask anything about it. Did everybody get the same allocation of questions as me?
Maybe they've just got enough on their plate with the main story already and don't care what the people have to say. You'll think things are bugged on this island a few times, but no, they just have to have their big dramatic camera panning cinematic while a timer is ticking.
Oh no! In this case, it's not letting me actually possess a saurian that's there that you need for the race, which is really annoying and weird.
Oh.
Oh, there it goes. Even though
Oh,
the timer's already half over.
that's okay. Just use Chaska.
I don't have Chaska.
Oh, maybe I can help you with Chaska.
We'll see how it goes. Now that I'm actually doing the event, the timers have been fairly generous on these. So
It's not designed to be a balls to the wall challenge. It's just designed to be a fun summer diversion.
We can't all be the Inazuma waterfall time trial.
Those were just designed to wind people up, I'm sure.
Oh, you know one of them was, because it was deliberately designed around how quirky the targeting is on those tethers. So yeah, I'll have fun going through this place. I don't know if I'll go through it right away after launch. After the story's done. Oh no.
Well, keep in mind we've only got 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, we got 2 weeks for the story and the events and the mini games, but the exploring to collect the pyroculuses and all that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I tend to go into these things with kind of an all or nothing approach, because I'll just lose too much momentum on a place if I try and do it in dribs and drabs or come back a long time later. That's sort of why I still haven't done any of Sumeru or Liyue or Inazuma, really. I still haven't done that freaking obnoxious nuclear fallout site in Inazuma.
Oh yeah, the one that takes multiple real-world days to break into.
I started working on it like literally 12 months ago, and I think I've made it like 1.5 steps in or something like that.
Oh no.
I had not been checking my Inazuma commissions for a while, because I have my commissions set to Inazuma, because goodness gracious are there time lock crap. Or commission lock crap there. for just completing it and getting the do all quest chivo and stuff. I'm down to just
Really?
one after this week.
Yeah. The only thing I've really done on Inazuma out of the ordinary is I've went through and turned off the thunderstorm, and that was it.
Yeah,
Oh,
think I've 100%ed the Zuma. I can't
Is
see
it
it.
is
It's
it
on your map.
possible to clean up Chernobyl, or is it always going to do like damage all the time?
That's a good question. I blotted Chernobyl from my mind.
fair enough.
It has been over a year since I went to that place.
Completely understandable.
Yeah, I've still got chunks of Sumeru to do, and still got to finish Fontaine up. Not very big chunks of Sumeru, but I'm pretty good at pulling the car over and taking a rest on the side of the road, and then refragmenting what's remaining and breaking that down and going through it. Although I am every time I start to go back to finish the volcano because I got pulled out on that one, I forget what I've already done, and it's been the worst one for that.
There are still some things in the volcano I haven't gotten, but I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't care anymore. I'm well past the sort of the 90% threshold that I normally consider to be sufficient.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think I might actually have Natlan either 100%ed or very close to it at this point, just through the sheer amount of time that I've spent loitering around the place.
yeah. A lot of people have given a whole lot of complaints about uh, the generic stuff in that land, but pretty much aside from the Archon quest flopping on its face and the graffiti designs everywhere, I've liked everything about the rest about Natlan and Natlan itself. But the little bits I've seen of commentary on it seem to be people just hate everything about it.
Well, I mean, it's a Hoyo community. Like, who even cares? Like, I wouldn't never do this, by the way, and I don't think either of you would, but just in case it ever crosses your mind, never do this. I went on Twitter to see what the reaction was to the Star Rail live stream immediately after it finished because I was still up.
Oh, that's like a mistake.
And wow, it was like just nuclear with
Ah,
rage. Everybody hated everything about it. Everything was terrible. Everything needed to be complained about.
yeah, sounds about right.
Well, they did just spend $92 million as a community on a icky boy.
There's like the
Correct,
number
correct,
one
correct.
topic of complaint seemed to be that that Cyrene looks too much like Elysia. It's like, I'm sorry, do you understand how this works?
No, because they got a skip
Like,
button now.
the whole point of the Hoyoverse being United Universes is that certain things happen the same way everywhere, even if the circumstances are different. Like the fundamentals of a person are the same, and a given person can be born in multiple worlds. Like this is one of the core rules that Hoyo operates on, and it's probably their most distinctive one. Which is why, in GGZ and in Honkai Third and in Genshin and in Star Rail and in ZZZ, you just often find the same people again and again and again, living different lives, but they're fundamentally at the core the same type of person.
Do we have any alternates in CCZ?
Lady
Yeah.
Sunbringer is definitely an alternate. One of the members of the team that became Void Hunters rather than a single person is definitely another Cyrene. There's a few of them scattered here and there. The most obvious one is Lady Sunbringer by miles, though. Like she's definitely a Caslana. But yeah, this is a core distinctive of the Hoyoverse. And if they know who Elysia is, then they should know that already. But for some reason, everybody was just super upset that she looks so much like Elysia. Well, there's not really, it wouldn't be much point otherwise, because that's just sort of who she is. Like, I mean, maybe you wanted her to wear a dress that was slightly more different. Like, what else do you want?
I can get down with more frills.
But like, I don't understand it. It's probably not worth trying to understand because I think that they may just be stupid people.
They're there for the waifu, but not really for the plot.
So that people were also mad about your boy Butterface's wardrobe change that he goes through in the next patch. Apparently people thought it was bad. I was like, well,
Okay.
I mean, it's about the same degree of wardrobe change that it was the last time he had a wardrobe change. Like, it's not really that much difference. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure why you're upset.
Sounds to me like it's the Hoyo community being the Hoyo community, and that they get a temperature for their general feelings, and suddenly every view they have on the product reflects that general temperature.
Yeah, I guess because I don't follow the content creator side of the community, I don't know how many of these things are actually people's opinions or whether they were watching a stream alongside some streamer, like a watch along, and they just immediately adopted all of that streamer's reactions because it seems like a lot of people think that way these days,
Yeah.
or think in inverted quotes.
Why make your own opinions when you can just borrow someone else's?
This is why you must liberate yourself from all forms of social media and live influencer content. I'm free. Oh, even I can't escape it with some people on YouTube. I will check out some of the things that they pop up that looks interesting, like Fire and Pineapple shows off Kazan. So yeah.
This one. All right.
So that's where we're at with the Hoyos. I like I mentioned, until the last 36 hours, most of which has been spent fervently trying to get caught up in Genshin, so I don't have to play super spoiler dodgy anymore. Because when it was just one patch, it's pretty easy for me to avoid the hype of the latest patch just by staying off of social media. The longer it goes, though, the more the previous stuff starts to seep into the stuff that I keep up, like my YouTube feed and stuff.
And
So
sooner or later, Hoyo themselves decide, nah, that's enough. You're getting spoiled.
yeah. So I really wanted to get caught up before that hit critical mass, and definitely didn't think I could delay another 6 weeks until Parallelism Parallel was actually fully voiced.
Pergologism.
Maybe they will one day introduce a real quest replaying thing so that you can go through it again.
Yeah, because
That'd be nice.
I liked the story and everything about it that was presented. It just it lost a lot of impact being mostly unvoiced, especially with Albedo being unvoiced. Like, I feel like his delivery just not being there hurt a lot. Like, I'm not a super big fan of Albedo's voice actor, like a lot of people seem to be. I don't know very much about the dude, but just the silence during some of these key scenes, and John being silent in that quest too really hurts it.
Well,
So
it's just this is not something that we can pin on Hoyo, really.
no, this one's the Californians' fault,
Right.
and the Austin Texans' fault, being little divas.
I found it perfectly enjoyable because I just watched it in Japanese. I've been doing that since the very start. Like I played like a couple of quests in the English when I first started Genshin years ago, and then decided, I don't actually like the delivery. Because I mean, to be fair, that early on the voice acting in English was truly, truly atrocious.
Yeah,
like in the Mondstadt.
like
Oh, yeah, it really was.
the voice actors were clearly treating it like just a throwaway mobile game project early on. They didn't know how big this was going to get. But yeah. So but now though they've got most of the actors have found their feet with their characters and are in Genshin. They're all there's no Butterfink. There's no
No Buttervision.
yeah, no Buttervision. Star Rail, I don't know what's up with them, and I'm pretty sure it's entirely on whoever the ADR director is.
Your boy Buttervision is like his VA seems to think that he's doing a great job.
I tell you, he might be the biggest reason that I do the main story quest and all the voiced event quests in Japanese.
Like he's like full on like one of the most sort of attention farming members of the cast as far as trying to get people to pay attention to him, the voice actor, outside of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he's not even like remarkably good in game. Like and but he does apparently seem to have some fans.
Life is but your vision.
Buttervision.
Break.
But if I'd done something like that, and then I had moved forward in my career as a voice actor, I would be desperately petitioning to redo those lines. Please, just let me redo them. I'll do them for free. You don't even need to bill me for it. I just I want rid of the stain on my career.
Either that, or you just show up at a conference panel just with butter on your face.
Yeah, I would embrace the meme. I would
Yeah.
let it stay. But
Embrace the Buttervision.
yeah, it's as YouTube's search algorithm continues to change, it gets remarkably harder to find clips of stuff like that. It took me forever to find a clip of Buttervision last time I linked it. But it was all over the place from before people were deciding they liked that guy for some reason.
Well, I mean, the fact that he's getting a wardrobe change in 3.5 must mean that he's going to be taking center stage in at least part of the plot. So he's going to have a bunch of lines for all those people who are English voice Don Hung enjoyers. So
You get all your Buttervision. So yeah, I've stretched that about as far as I can take it. I think for Hoyo stuff. I did like a letter that the protagonist gets at the end of the prologue to set up the next arc a lot. I thought that was really cute.
from Vaka.
Yeah, because this dude that you've heard about in passing since the start of the game, as he
Yep.
exists, but you don't realize just until you get that letter just how out there he is.
Everything up until this point, like he's
No,
always
he was
been on
exactly what
stage.
I expected. He was precisely as I expected. Like what other person could be so irresponsible as to leave Jean to have to do everything for him for years and years on end?
And make the
I
passcode.
suspect he might be a goober. He is a goober.
Make the passcode to his lockbox 123456.
That's what an idiot would put on his luggage.
It's incredible. It's the same combination on my luggage.
Honestly, I think Varka is going to be one of those characters you might just have to get just for the memes.
He seems like he's going to be a fun character to interact with.
He's still an Icky Boy.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make pull tier because Icky Boys lose a lot of points, especially in Genshin where it's multiplayer.
But he's got a lot of fangirls.
Do we even know what he looks like yet?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we've known for a while.
He's bishy.
He's been in. Well, he's like old man bishy, like
he is old man bishy.
Middle-aged bishy, but he's like been depicted in various sort of like corollary media and paintings, and we know what he looks like from trailers now and so on. But he's had fangirls for a long time because if you're paying a lot of attention to the lore, his characterization is fairly solid already, which is why I wasn't really taken aback by anything in his letter. It was more or less exactly as I expected.
Yeah, I expected some level of tism from the dude that just abandoned poor Jean, but I wasn't quite expecting the level that we got in that letter.
Yeah, I think he's the canonical wielder of Wolf's gravestone. Most people think it's Diluc, but I think it's actually him.
I think Diluc uses it in the cutscene during
That said, there aren't that many great swords to pick from. So,
No, that's
and
true.
he's gonna have his own whatchamacallit, signature anyway, so they can make money off of it. So I guess it's going to by default end up being Deluxe, since he's the one who will be left without a great sword.
Maybe his signature will have a note on how Wolf Gravestone 2 Electric Boogaloo is so much better, and he loved it so much more, so he left the inferior version to Diluc.
Cries in welfare, Batman.
I'm just saying, you're in Mondstadt, maybe you shouldn't base your entire economy off a trading card game and booze. Because
I don't know, it seems to be working okay for them, to be honest.
I mean,
Oh.
you probably don't have that many expenses, but your cavalry captain doesn't have a horse.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
that might not necessarily be because they can't afford one, but because of the sort of person the cavalry captain is.
That's also possibly true.
There's a pair of goobers standing on this dock.
There are a pair of goobers all over this island.
Yeah.
There are many
I
pairs of
can't talk
goobers.
to said goobers, but yeah.
Oh, so far, the few world quests I've done on this island have been amazing. One of them I got in the city wasn't super interesting. I didn't really care about that one, but one of them,
The Get the Dolls one.
the what one?
The Get the Dolls one.
No, I don't think I did that one. It was
Okay.
the one that unlocks the color purple for the booty boys.
Ah.
I don't know anything about how this place is structured, but I saw a bunch of people online molding that they couldn't find the color purple.
Oh, it's part of a multi quest world quest chain. It's not a super long one, but I was skimming it because I started to lose interest as it was going on.
Yeah, actually, let me look at this because it tells you on the color palette which quests you need to do, and I think pretty sure those quests are actually listed in your log already.
Okay, green is for the disappeared dolls world quest, the one you were mentioning.
Yeah, that's the one that gets you green.
Orange
And that
is
one was interesting enough.
Orange is unlocked during the main story quest, just as after you fix one of the minigame things and play with it. And purple is for this other quest that I found.
Let's see. To get purple,
Sweet
I
traces
need
of chroma.
Yeah.
chroma.
There are
Why
some
would you paint something grey?
good questions.
Why is grey a color?
So much rubbish in my quest log. Oh dear.
But yeah.
My quest log is unusable. It's got like 50 entries in it. I would love to clean it up, but I'd probably have to take like a week's leave or something.
Just to go through it. A lot of it's just small early game quests too. Like half of this stuff is in Modstad.
Oh, yeah, no, my TISM triggered when I first came back to the game, and I obsessively cleaned that thing out as I went.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
You
I
kind of
mean,
have to, otherwise it's going to get away from you.
I'd have to clean out the Nara as well. Whatchamacallits, Naras.
Most of the quests are very on that. You haven't got to the here's 50 gorillion baby side quests where they just dump them all on you in a big blob. I'm not kidding either. It's like 20 or 30 quests. I mean, they're all very simple one-step quests, but there's like 20 or 30 of them. But yeah. But there's one world quest in particular that might be on the last island that you haven't unlocked yet. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I haven't unlocked the
So-
last island yet. You got to do that through the main story, I believe.
You don't have a reason to go over there during the story, but to the right of the first teleport point on the last island, on that little hillside, look for a crazy lady growing flowers and do her quest. It's amazing.
Alrighty.
Wherever you think it's going, you don't know until you do that one.
Probably not.
Seems like a nice enough locale. It's not quite as ambitious as Sri Like, if I wanted to show someone something really cool who are familiar with Genshin but hadn't been to the place, I would prefer to show them Sri because it's so much more creative. But to Hoyo's deep shame, or it should be anyway, it doesn't exist in the game anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's some cute landmarks here, like the big Colossaur building in the middle of the lake, the big spoilers area up there has a lot of nice landmarks. I tried to think of something that wouldn't give a part of the main story away, but I couldn't think of anything. And all
Yeah, there's
the little water slides in the background, and like the
whatever that big flying thing up there is.
I really like Galizia Ridge over there. Where one of the story quests happens. I thought that was
It's still
incredible.
fundamentally just Natland Disneyland. It's not something completely radically new the way Simolanka was, which like this is not to knock this. This is just like it makes me feel even more regretful that the older the previous summer event's not in the game anymore.
Yeah, and Simolanka was not small either. Like it was as big as this at least the two main islands. This first big island and Tite Isle over there. Like it was a big place with a lot of content in it, a lot of side quests and origami frogs, and Lego people and Navi and a mustache, and you just don't get any of that anymore.
That raises many, many questions, which we'll never get answers for.
Yeah, you'll have to YouTube that one.
Yeah.
And an outfit for Nailu when Nailu wasn't on the banner.
Yeah,
That's kind of weird.
central character at least, but not on the banner.
At least
Where-
Bennett's a 4-star, so
Yeah, there's going to be another event with a certain amount of story later on this patch in Genshin, which is a Yellen centric event.
Yeah, maybe they'll sell some more outfits, but
Yellen is coming to the next banner. The rumors say that she's going to be the one that gets paired with Lauma,
let's see.
who I don't know if you're going to pull for Lauma, but she is apparently makes Nailu Bloom incredibly cracked.
Well, considering all the work I've done prepping for Nilu's eventual return, probably gonna grab her. Definitely, in fact, I'm definitely gonna grab her because need to you need to have at least one lunar reaction. It looks like.
You it's basically scaling power. Basically, like you need at least one other for it to work, for most of your kit to work. But the more you have, the more effective it gets.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just imagine us getting stuck in a Xbalanque situation with the dragon, where if for some reason, there'll definitely be characters from Nagpri that I want to pull, so I don't probably even need to think about it. But yeah, the
Well, at least 3 of the characters are blonde. I can tell you that much. Well,
yes,
that's not counting Vaka, who is also blonde.
yes. So major points, but right now I've been saving for a bit, and I'm like 55 deep into pity, because I tried to get a few more copies of Yansan on and managed to not ruin the pity. So
It's a dangerous game you were playing there.
yeah, it was getting up there, but I did get my Yansan to C6 with that, because it was only her second banner, and I wasn't sure when she'd be coming back around. And because this isn't ZZZ, one patch later they don't add the 4-star to the pick ticket.
dear.
So yeah, I had to be sure that I got her to keep Verisa alive, because her and Verisa, if you actually want to use Verisa, you really need Yansan on the team to make it work. Otherwise, team building gets really complicated.
Why Yansan specifically? Why not say official?
Because Yansan provides all the attack boosts in addition to being Electro.
Right.
So she just cranks Verisa's damage.
She's like Electro Bennett, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, except instead of needing to be in a circle, you have to be able to move fast enough to maintain the buff. It doesn't care if it's vertical height or horizontal distance to maintain the buff. Verisa can do both. It just needs you to be in motion. But I got her there, and that puts a much nicer cushion on that buff. so that it doesn't immediately fall off if your rotation gets a little screwy. So I can actually use Farisa in single player now. You can use her in multiplayer because multiplayer is multiplayer. You can make most things work in multiplayer, but
You can cheese all sorts of fire.
yeah, I've got quite a few resources backed up now, so I'm thinking hard about whether I want to grab Mualani's weapon because the Ring of Young should just versus Surf's Up, it's like a 50% damage difference. It's huge. But
I have very few resources, so I need to hoard because I probably want to get at least Nicole and Alice from Nodcry.
yeah,
And
I've
probably Columbina, maybe Sandrone if she's there. I'm just targeting waifus at this point. I'm not really even thinking about anything else.
yeah the only thing on the previous character target meter is Nailu, and we have no idea when the Sumeru banner's coming. So that could be months and months from now, and I have not spent on the last 2 or 3 banners just rebuilding resources in Genshin. So I've got a little bit that I can free spend with, and I might try and get Mualani's weapon. But other than that,
pro grade again, so I don't have very much.
yeah. So I don't know how things will go with Genshin's new characters coming out, but I'm hopeful for Nodcry. I liked the few snippets I've seen of character designs from it, and I've liked the little bits of preview we've got. If they just don't belly flop the landing this time, could be fun. Uh,
Yeah.
And that's all I got. I've stretched that as stretch as I can stretch.
All right. Let me see. I don't think there's any real major news article this week, is there?
I think there was a bunch of like mini announcements all over the place,
Oh,
but
you've still got the
Yeah, there've been
ongoing stuff.
people have
the-
dropped
Oh,
People
go
have
on.
dropped various announcements this week, but I'm not really. I don't know. I feel like they're just sort of a bit. Oh well, we have to announce it, but there's no announcement. No good venue to announce it at, so we'll just drop it. So things like a bunch of new games, new properties been announced. Darksiders 4 got announced. Release
Sacred
date for
2
Fate Hell
remaster?
Arcaxia got announced. What?
Sacred 2's getting a remaster? I didn't even think people knew about that game.
I don't think people liked Sacred all that much. It was kind of jank.
It was incredibly jank. And then they had Sacred 3, which was an abomination. Anyway.
But yeah, so there are a bunch of like little things that have dropped this week, but there's not really been much chatter about them since a lot of them have become unknown quantities. Like a lot of them, for instance, are tied to THQ Nordic, but people don't really have a good beat on what they're doing these days, so nobody really knows what to expect. For some
Yeah, this is the
strange reason, THQ also announced that they're remaking Gothic.
Yeah, the first one. I mean, the Gothic, is it 3? I think they ended up being. I liked the Gothic games, but oh my, are they buggy.
They're like constructed out of pure jank. Like
Yeah.
it's elemental jank forged into bricks and then put together.
Then they got a new publisher and redid the formula under another name called, I think it was Elix. That game also made completely of jank and bugs.
Yes, and if I recall correctly, Seth reviewed both of them.
Yes. I ended up finishing.
Which sort of tells you how jank they are.
Yeah, I finished Gothic 2 back in the day, and that was pain. But honestly, a very enjoyable pain, because underneath all the bugs and jank, there's also a high degree of camp, which I found enjoyable. I don't think it was I don't think it was trying to be campy and weird, but that's just kind of how it all came out. There's also, because after Gothic 3, there was a split. So half the team went one way and made Elix, and the other went the other way and made what was it called? That it was a pirate game, Arcadia, something like that. Hang on.
You've lost me. So this is all you.
Yeah. I forget what it was actually called. It was something along those lines, but it was also jank. But this time it was jank on the high seas.
I don't
So
remember.
yeah, it was a long time ago now. And that the pirate game came out. It was janky and buggy, and it faded into obscurity really quick.
I'm not sure. At any rate, yeah, it's been mostly THQ announcements. I don't know. Is there something? Are they holding an event? Because it seems like most of them are their announcements this week.
Well, they kind of shadow dropped Titan Quest 2, which is interesting. So I'm looking forward to sitting down and spending some time with that. It doesn't look like multiplayer's in there yet, though. It's only got 4 masteries so far, so it's still very, very bare bones.
Well, they need to remember the reason why Titan Quest is a thing at all is because of players, the community's support of the software, not because anybody made it work. Like the fact that the community has made sure that it continues to work, continues to function like that. For a long time, it was propped up by community mods and that sort of thing, community patches. Because it went, Iron Law went under, it basically disappeared off the map. So
yeah, then it was picked up again later on. They made a few more expansions for it. So we've also got Darksiders 4 announced. I liked Darksiders 1. I enjoyed Darksiders 2, but I didn't think it was quite as tight. It had a lot of fluff in it. Darksiders 3, I didn't actually play.
Darksiders 1 was my first PS3 game. And I played the crap out of it. I enjoyed it. It was relatively good for what it was. They managed to capture what I felt like they were trying to capture, which was sort of like the American comic book Gothic.
Yep.
Crossed with Zelda. But
yes. The story kind of fell apart when you really thought about it because it was just big and dumb and loud, and that was
why
about
would you
it.
think about it?
Don't think about it. Just don't.
The problem, the thing is that the second one was too World of Warcraft. It was too influenced by other RPGs. I think that they should have taken what they had in Darksiders 1 and refined it rather than just basically just keeping the aesthetic and dropping everything else. There was still a lot of individual things within it to like about it, but I didn't enjoy the feel of the game as a whole thing. And
honestly, the whole loot system as just an entirety could have just been removed. You didn't need it at all.
Well, I think it was flatly bad because what I found is that because I did a couple of playthroughs, I did like 1.5 playthroughs or something, and what I found was that if you were really, really unlucky with gear, like I was in one of my playthroughs, the game became unreasonably difficult.
Yes.
Because combat just took so long. If you happened to get a cracked piece of gear, you could walk all over enemies. It just added a degree of imbalance that was not necessary and made the game feel like it was poorly designed, even though it wasn't necessarily. They just inserted some RNG in there that didn't need to be there and only detracted from the experience.
Yeah, it just did not need to be there at all. And honestly, I spent too much time just trying to get around janky, terrible bits of gear.
Yeah, in the case of Darksiders 3, I don't think very many people played it because it was pretty much viewed by everybody as Darksiders Strong Empowered Woman edition.
Yeah.
Like nobody really had anything particularly bad to say about it, but nor was there really anything particularly remarkable to praise about it. So it just sort of didn't make a mark.
Just kind of
it's often on like comically deep discount, so you could play it if you really want to, and not for a lack of opportunity. But I've never really felt the urge. So.
Let's see.
There have been a couple of spin-offs as well, I believe.
It is currently at 80% off for 12 Australian dollars. Or 14 if you
Yeah.
want the expansion pack. Or the expansion, rather. The
I know
extras.
that they released a spin-off or two as well, but I think that they did quite poorly from memory.
Darksiders Genesis, the game that nobody really knows exists. Yes.
I remember them trying to hype it at the time because there are 4 horsemen, so it made sense for there to be 4 games, and the whatchamacallit, the IP had sort of fallen off, so they tried to make a spin-off to cover off the other horsemen, and I don't think it worked.
Yeah. So Darksiders 4 is apparently you get to play as all 4 horsemen at some point or another.
I feel like
So-
that's quite likely to end up spreading things too thinly unless the game is ginormous.
Yeah. Which it's kind of gives that impression, but again, Darksiders 2 comes to mind again. Like a big, empty, padded world.
Yeah, it was mostly empty space.
Yeah.
Like
They
I
had
said, there were
made
things
it-
that I liked about it and things that I thought were done well, but overall, it was just not the sort of very compact and curated, well-paced experience that Darksiders 1 was. Like Darksiders 1's main fault was that it was powered by testosterone alone and no brain cells, but
Well,
I
hey,
didn't
hey,
really see that
hello
as a
there.
huge problem.
Yeah, no, that was exactly what I wanted at the time. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
The whole experience sort of made sense from start to finish, and it was incredibly sort of edgy and constipated in all the right ways.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on Darksiders 4. If I have to do that, I'll probably have to go back and play through 2 again so I can remind myself what was going on.
So, what else? Elden Ring Night Rain dropped 2-player mode. That's a thing now.
Okay. That's nice. Yeah.
And force Ebu to play it with you.
We got adults. Mm-hmm.
Promoted to will be forced to wear the plastic robot again.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, good.
No. When you're a manager, it means you've got to fill in every time you can't find somebody to cover.
If you can't find some other poor sap to cram in the plastic robot. Of course. Driving and alcohol. What could possibly go wrong? So yeah, other stuff. Let's see. We had a quick bubble that popped at one point during the week, and that was Obsidian coming out and announcing that Outer Worlds 2 is going to be $70, not 80.
I think a lot of people are sort of seeing that using the $80 figure is like, if you don't have an extraordinarily powerful IP, it's just bad press.
Yeah. Like, as much as people hate it, Nintendo can get away with it. At least for a little while. No. Did they end up releasing Donkey Kong at the $80 price point, or did they keep it lower? I thought they were going to keep that one lower. But yeah. Absolutely not. Yeah. And it's half padding and fluff and useless rubbish. Nobody. I've not seen a single person after that first week actually compliment the open world system. It's completely pointless.
Any compliment that it would have gotten would have just been on the basis of novelty. It doesn't
Yeah,
serve a
but-
purpose to a racing game. It really doesn't. Lots of people have tried that conceit in the past, but it usually doesn't go well for.
It worked for some of the Need for Speed games, but that was about it.
But how many of those are still around?
Yeah, no, that's a franchise that's gone. When was last? Yeah, which was fun until you ran into the clock, in which case you just had to suddenly start molding for the little cheating bastard. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, no, Need for Speed's still going. There was one released in 2022.
Anybody buy it? Having a large franchise which is not annualized is failure in the modern world, I'm afraid.
Yeah, especially for something like EA. Need for Speed Unbound. I don't even remember this game.
It's $7.70.
Wow. Let's see. Reception. How did this actually do?
Went up like a lead balloon, I'm sure.
When you look at Wikipedia and the reception is just a basic statement saying generally favorable, and that's about it. It got nominated for 1, maybe 2 awards, and that was it. It just kind of went straight under everybody's radar. That's a shame. I really liked Need for Speed back in the day. Like, let's face it, Hot Pursuit was absolutely peak. But anyway, anything else for the newses? I don't think there particularly was. The MasterCard Visa thing is still ongoing, and lots of screaming, lots and lots of gaslighting, lots and lots of drama, basically.
Unsurprising. Well, it's
Well,
only
basically
annoying the low-end peons who have to pick up the phone.
yes, and yeah, the peons are getting really, really annoyed, but the executives who are the ones who should be getting annoyed are just hiding. But in the meantime, Itch has gone back to start re-releasing games that do not have a price tag on it. Oh no, hang on a second. There goes my phone.
Oh no. But yeah, there's also the Switch price thing. Like a lot of people are reading about tariffs, etc. But the reality is that cost of living in the US as a result of tariffs has actually gone down a fraction, which has completely boggled the minds of most of the economists because they were sure that the world was going to end. Yeah, well, that's just how it goes. I think Nvidia desperately needs to be hurt and badly. Sadly, they are not capable of learning lessons accurately. However, they are possibly the largest company in the world today, certainly in that sector, and probably the most deserving of getting smacked down of all the tech companies because they have arrived at functional monopoly, and they sell something everybody needs. So they are sort of approaching the nightmare situation that everybody sort of talks about in hushed tones when it comes to monopoly, in that they supply essentially the only competitive thing in a certain space, and because AMD have basically bowed down. They like nothing that they have announced in their current generation is even attempting to compete with the flagship level of Nvidia products. It's not that they failed to do such, that they didn't try, because from their point of view, it would be extremely difficult to develop something competitive, and they can be propped up by competing with Intel as well. They can compete for the low and mid end of the graphics market with Nvidia because they're still competitive there because their rasterization is good, but they can compete with Intel on the graphics card front and on the CPU front, and Intel's graphics card offerings are still immature. They're getting there. Like their current series that they're moving to market is very solid, but it's a solid competitor with sort of like mid to low end, not a competitor for flagship level. So when it comes to upper mid and upper tier of processing power, it's Nvidia or go home. There is nobody else, and they are aware of this and they are abusing it relentlessly. The irony is that they're not just leveraging that at the top level either. They're leveraging it all the way down the product stack right to the bottom, which is why they've released the worst video card in existence today, the 5050, which is like, if you've got like a 2070 or a 2080, it'll be better than the 5050. So don't upgrade to a 5050. A 5050 is not an upgrade. A 5050 is downgrade. And most of the marketing material Nvidia released about it is only not fraudulent on a technicality. Probably a sufficiently skilled prosecutor could get them on false advertising. But yeah, Nvidia needs to suffer. They need to suffer badly. They need to not have dumped all of their efforts into sort of like AI processing and that sort of thing, which is where all of their effort has gone. I don't know how that's going to shape up for them going forward into the future, but there's no heir apparent to the head-to-head that they previously were fighting with AMD back before. Basically, Nvidia seems to have basically won the fight largely on the basis of the success of their marketing for ray tracing. Hardly anybody uses ray tracing, but the fact that they had it and trying to do ray tracing with raw power from an AMD core rather than a specially designed Nvidia core was so inefficient that it made it look like Nvidia were just leaps and bounds ahead technologically, as opposed to just being architecturally different. So they pretty much cemented themselves as the only good solution for graphics, and AMD really never recovered from that. It doesn't really matter what Nvidia does now. They are not going to lose their position in the market, but I would just like for them to take a beating, to be quite honest, because they're way too confident now. They aren't afraid of anything going wrong. They think nothing can go wrong.
Sorry about that. I had to clarify with a driver. So, how's this for stupid, by the way? We have two mechanics in town. They both have the same name. They've both named their businesses all those identical things, and they are right next door to each other.
I see.
So, yeah, go figure that one out. And they wonder why people get confused. Actually, yeah. Well, one is more of an industrial bob, and the other one is getting sued into the ground. But anyway.
Is it
No,
because stereotypically shady mechanic stuff, or is there another reason for it?
That and a good old helping of arrogance.
Because this is a really strong stereotype that you simply can't trust anything a mechanic says.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, just tip them constantly. Let them keep the change.
Supply them with beer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just bring a case of beer with you when you pick your car up.
Yep. Yeah. Thankfully, because I'm in bush Australia. Shoddy mechanics don't last long. Word gets around real quick.
Yeah, it's not like there's anybody to talk to, but everybody else in town. So
Exactly. You pull a dodgy on someone, and everyone will know.
you won't be welcome at the pub anymore.
No, you will not. All right.
Why the hell are they making a Toxic Crusaders game in this decade?
I don't know. That popped up a year ago and made me feel incredibly decrepit. Yeah, that's old.
From
Yeah.
1991, isn't it?
Yes?
And I thought it was disturbing back then, but
It's weird. Weird, weird.
definitely weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, those days I never played Toxic Crusaders. I spent more of my time trying to get through Alex Kidd in Miracle World. That game plays dirty. Although it does let you cheat rock, paper, scissors, so that's something. All right. I think that's it. Unless you really care about Borderlands 4, but frankly, nobody cares about Borderlands 4.
I've seen lots of people trying to persuade other people to care about it, but
Yeah,
it
but
has got the distinct smell of AstroTurf about it.
it does. It's like, if Borderlands 3 hadn't happened, maybe.
Is Randy
I-
Pitchford still in charge over there?
Yes.
Well, then you definitely can't trust that anything is organic, because there's
Despite
basically
his
nothing beneath that guy.
despite his absolute best efforts to get fired from his own company, he's still there. That's such a yeah. That's in the sins that Borderlands 3 made. That one is such a minor one. Yeah, I don't care anymore. Bouncy cow. I am up and trying not to fall into the void. We'll do that after the show. Ah, that's it.